Aloha everyone, and welcome to the Planet Grom, where I aim to show people the world around them with videos answering questions, telling stories, and seeing sights on motorcycles. And in this episode, we're talking about souvenirs. I've got a confession to make. I love buying stuff. I don't really care what it is, I just love stuff. Growing up, I had all sorts of collections. If it was packaged in any way that made it look like something could be accumulated, I was there. Local gas station chain have a series of 4 reflective stickers. I won't stop until I own them all. McDonald's had glass Batman Forever cups. I would fill the top of a dresser with them. Pogs? Man, I had so many flippin' Pogs, it was ridiculous. Trading cards, Ninja Turtles, collectible action figures, comic books, video games, books of the non-comic variety, guitars, ukuleles, pipes. I have collected a ton of stuff over my life. And this desire to collect random crap has never gone away. It's just been more finely tuned thanks to a limited budget and a wife who, while loving and supportive in most things, knows that given my druthers, the house would be so full of stuff that you would need to carve a precarious path through the rooms to the doors. Thinking about it, I think that it ultimately came from moving around so much as a kid. Friends were not guarantees, family felt like strangers, and you never really knew when the rug was going to get pulled out from under you and you'd have to move all over again. But if you had stuff, if you had a collection of some sort, then you had some form of stability and control in a world where, as a child, you never really had any control over anything of significance. It was a buoy of steadiness in a sea of constant change. And it never really went away, like I said, but my wife convinced me through the many years together to distill my passions, which admittedly come and go with little warning, to just a few things, get quality things and enjoy them to the utmost, she would say. So instead of buying $120 garbage ukuleles, I only have a few that are actually pretty nice and fun to play. Instead of filling an outdoor shed with Ghostbusters memorabilia from eBay, I have my one awesome looking Proton pack. But it is still a struggle to stay on the straight and narrow, especially when it comes to traveling. I travel a lot, like a whole lot. I've gotten real comfortable with hotel beds and the adrift feeling that I get in new cities, but the biggest hurdle is the need to collect things. I suppose that need for a buoy is still there inside me, and it would be really easy to go crazy on trips. I mean, some travelers come back from trips to even mundane places loaded down with souvenirs, and I knew that this would be me if I didn't find a way to control it. And when it came to my wife and kids, I decided that instead of buying them some toy that they would break or get bored with, or clothes that they would outgrow, or even something commonplace like magnets, keychains, or even postcards, I'd figure a way to make it more personal. In the end, I decided to use an app called TouchNote to use photos that I took from the road and make them into postcards for them. It's about as easy as you can make it. You upload the picture, TouchNote puts a little map on the back with my message, and they print it and ship it. I also get a mug from Starbucks. These things, the mugs and postcards which came from my own photos, they make me leave the hotel room. So they're like a catalyst for actually enjoying wherever it is that I go. And while postcards and mugs aren't the point, getting out of the room totally is. I could very easily just hang out in my hotel room and watch Kickboxer for the billionth time, but getting out and seeing the world, that might be a bit better for me, even if it means less loincloth Muay Thai. And then when I started getting confident riding my ruckus and started getting more and more into the motorcycling world, I noticed that traveling and adventure was a draw to a lot of different sects of motorcycle riders. Cruisers seem to love eating up highway miles, and ADV folks love figuring out the intricacies of camping on routes like the old Pony Express, often going days without seeing another human being. And here I was, a recent convert to the Church of Two Wheels, and I couldn't be more stoked than to think about motorcycling to other places. Man, but how would I document those trips and places? I mean, after all, motorcycling isn't like any other mode of transportation. You don't have all the space in the world. You have to worry about weight, balance plays a role, etc., etc. So I did what anyone should do in a situation like this. I asked people who know more than me. I asked the adventure motorcyclists in particular. Nothing against the cruiser population, but adventure motorcyclists seem way more likely to showcase their travels. And how do they do that? Well, if you look around, most seem to do it by putting stickers on their hard cases. A lot also said that they track their routes on maps, which makes sense. I mean, you could highlight, write notes, include dates, times, and all that. It could be pretty cool looking. Except for one thing. Paper maps are just getting weaker and weaker. Rand McNally, for all their popularity in the map-making business, doesn't even offer a fold-out map that covers the entire island of Oahu. And I think we should really focus on that for a little bit, right? Because this is pretty crazy. Hawaii isn't the biggest state, and Oahu isn't even the biggest island in the state. So the idea of it not being covered in its entirety by a fold-out map, that seems like bush league to me. I mean, I was totally sold on this until I rode out to Haleiwa one day, which is on the northern side of the island. I came home, I was super stoked to mark down my progress because up until then, all of the highlighted routes had been pretty small, and now I had this big sweeping ride to the other side of the island. I would be able to see some serious progress. I unfolded it, and I started to mark it up, moving from my favorite Starbucks where I start every route. I traced my green highlighter all the way along High 99 and reached the edge of the map. No big deal. I mean, it would have been cool to see this all on one side of the map, but if I needed to turn it over to document everything, so be it. Turn the map over, and I found the rest of the map, and it didn't have Haleiwa. I had just run out of map. And a little about me, I'm not a half measure kind of guy. I like my measures full or completely empty, thank you very much. So I said, nuts to this, there has got to be a better way that doesn't involve me putting down as much data as I could, knowing full well that it isn't actually all the data. I mean, at that point, you're either selling yourself short or lying, and I'm no liar. A halfway decent storyteller maybe, but no liar. Despondent about Rand McNally's obvious failure as a guiding light to adventurists of all stripes and colors, I thought that there must be another way. Another way that doesn't involve stickers. Don't get me wrong, I love stickers, but I don't use stickers traditionally or conventionally. I turn them into magnets and then put them on the beer fridge. So I thought, let's think about what we want and then figure out what would be perfect for it. And since we're talking motorcycle souvenirs specifically, it's gotta be light, packable, durable. It wouldn't hurt to have a theme. Themes matter. A theme makes you a collector rather than a hoarder. Puzzled over this for a while, sipping my latte, wondering what could tick all those boxes. I could send myself postcards like I do for the family, but at what point would I say enough is enough? I mean, there has to be some sort of limit here, and it's best if it's imposed by me because I'm not a man to be trusted with this kind of stuff. I think we've established this by now. And then a friend of mine arrived and we went into Starbucks for him to get a drink, and I was just standing next to him chatting, and then I saw the gift cards. Specifically, the Hawaii gift card. Oh my God, I thought, this is it. This is exactly what I need. I mean, think about it. Are they light? Yeah. Are they packable? Man, I could wear a fanny pack and somehow traverse all of the United States and Canada and still have space to spare inside. Are they durable? Please. Plastic's one of the least biodegradable things on the planet. It'll live in my bag for a while. And is it still constrained? Yes. Starbucks has gift cards for states and some, emphasis on some here, major cities. So it isn't like there's a possibility for me to go someplace dark, like when people bought Beanie Babies and try to get gift cards for Wahiawa before driving a few minutes down and trying to get another at Mililani. And are they themed? Yeah, of course they are. The uniform size means that I can get gift cards like crazy, and because of the thinness, I can frame them. I can hang them on my garage wall when I'm all done. Besides, it's Starbucks. Starbucks is everywhere, and I genuinely enjoy it. I know they get a lot of flack from the adventure motorcycle community because that's the most adventure their BMW GS is ever going to see, or so the myth goes. But I would rather meet my motorcycling friends at Starbucks any day of the week over going to a gas station. In contrast, Starbucks is a company that I think is worth supporting for all sorts of reasons, but the biggest is that I'm just a fan of the brand. I've had coffee in a lot of Starbucks, a lot of states and countries all around the world, and they've always felt comfortable and pleasant, and I've built up a ton of good memories because of them. And it would be cool to see all of those gift cards, each with art depicting something the area is known for or a specific aesthetic, all lined up in pretty rows and columns and framed on my wall. That would be pretty great. And I already knocked out the hardest one to get on a motorcycle in the US. The only thing I need to figure out is whether I should put them in the order that I get them or the order in which they became states. What do you think? Cast your vote in the comments below, and I might just do that. But hey, why should I be the only one that benefits from these trips? Instead, I figured I could buy the gift card and then pass the money along to you. Take the code and ride off to a Starbucks, get yourself a coffee on me. First come, first serve. The only thing I ask is that you ride your bike to a Starbucks beyond your neighborhood's corner, please? And maybe send a picture at theplanetgrom@gmail.com. That's just a polite request, of course. I mean, you do you. Anyway, what do you think? How do you document your rides? Do you document them at all? Are you a souvenir person? Are you a minimalist? Come on, folks. I've got to know that I'm not the only one out there who's just looking for a reason to buy cool stuff. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you can be part of the notification squad. Until next time, mahalo nui loa.